Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Morning Drive podcast. I am your host with the most, Logan. It is great to be back with you guys today. We're recording this show from the new home of Your Morning Drive, which is 216 Co-working, located in downtown Cartersville. 216 offers private offices, team suites, and meeting rooms built for professionals, remote workers, and growing teams. They've got 24/7 access, high-speed internet, furnished spaces, and a polished business-ready environment. So it's a strong option for anybody working across Bartow County and beyond. Whether you have the need for a dedicated office or a flexible workspace near the Interstate 216 has you covered. To learn more, visit their website, book a tour, and join us. This podcast is also brought to us by Cartersville Living, powered by Best Version Magazine. Their magazine is your go-to source for uplifting local content, expert insights, community events, and more. They bring people together every month with compelling stories and informative articles from around town. Each new edition of Cartersville Living brings us closer to our vision of uniting the community, one person, one home, one business at a time. Before we completely dive into the conversation today, go ahead and hit follow or subscribe wherever you are listening, whether it's Apple or Spotify or YouTube or Amazon. Just hit that follow button so that when conversations hit your phone every week, you won't miss them. Of course, on any of those platforms, a thumbs up, a comment, a like, any of those things helps give us feedback and it helps us grow. Of course, everything else, Your Morning Drive on social media, Facebook, Instagram, all the places that you follow your mom or, I was trying to think of a musician, but I could only think of Elvis Presley. He's dead, so you can't follow him anywhere. But you could probably follow Priscilla. She's probably out there doing stuff. So anywhere you follow your mom and Priscilla Presley, follow Your Morning Drive. That's where you'll get show updates and all of those things. Guys, my guest today is a longtime educator and community leader who has spent decades serving Bartow County through education, ministry, and local involvement. From a teacher and coach to principal and district leader, my guest has built a career centered on investing in others and today continues that work as director of Harvest House at the church at Liberty Square. Deeply rooted in the Cartersville community, he remains actively involved in numerous organizations and is a familiar voice in local sports. Please welcome my new friend, Jack Howell.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm glad you got that written down. I was thinking to say, if you said all of that and didn't have a note on it, man, you got a photographic memory.
Oh, God, dude, I have to write it down. It's gone. If I don't write it down, it's gone.
Yeah.
Which
same here.
I'm only 30, and that's a problem for me.
Oh,
so I'm scared.
Yeah, only 30.
I went to my doctor probably maybe at 25, and I said, "Hey, I've got a horrible memory, just absolutely horrible." I mean, maybe not horrible because my dad always said in middle school and high school, he's like, "Man, you memorized every lyric to every song or every quote to every movie, but you can't remember your homework." So maybe, Jack, I just prioritized the wrong things.
Well, you're doing good there.
Well, I try. So yeah, Jack, before we kind of talk about, Harvest House and the things that you're doing today, let's kind of rewind. Let's go back. Let's talk about early days. Where are you from originally? Parents, siblings, what was growing up like? Were you cool in high school? All of those things. Give me kind of the Jack Howell origin story.
Okay, well, my dad was born and raised around Piedmont, Alabama. And the first years of my life, we lived there. And then we moved to what was Fairfax, Alabama, which is now known as the Valley, because they built that West Point Dam and they cooperated all of that. So it's Valley, Alabama now. And so that's where I grew up and went to high school and then played baseball, a little bit of football, did music, played in the band there, and then went on to Auburn. And I decided I wanted to try out for the band. So I did, made it. And so for 4.5 to 5 years, I was in the band at Auburn University where I majored in PE and music. That's kind of crazy. I always say, well, I can get along with the music folks and the athletic folks. So playing sports and music has been basically part of my life, the whole life. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Major. If I go home and told my parents I'm majoring in PE or music, they'd be like, "Boy, are you crazy?"
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, you had that best of both worlds. You were athletic, but you also, music's important to you too, so it's like, why not try to see what we can do with both of those?
It opened a lot of doors in my future.
What
Uh,
was the first door that it opened?
First door it opened was a coaching job at Valley High School, where I went to high school. Came back and coached for the guy who was an All-American at Alabama, old school. Now, this was old school. You just didn't deviate from what the rules were at all, or you would suffer the consequences.
Yeah, right.
Doug Lockridge was the coach's name, and well known in the coaching field in Alabama, probably one of the best. So I taught driver ed and history and coached football and basketball there at Valley High School. Then I went to LaGrange High School where I coached the same thing. And then that's when I got into administration. And my dad was principal at Cartersville Middle School, which was at Summer Hill at that time before they moved from Summer Hill. And so he talked to the county superintendent. And after I finished my administration degree, I came on up here. I had gone to West Georgia for my master's and went to Jacksonville State for my 6-year degree. And then started here as a principal down at Emerson quite a few years ago in one of the older schools in the county at that time.
And so that's kinda what brought you to Bartow then, was
Yes.
going to Emerson.
Yeah, going to Emerson and my dad knowing the county superintendent at that time. And when I finished my degree, of course, you naturally want to go into the job you're in. So that's what happened. I got the job at Emerson, was there for a while. We then went to Cass Elementary, there for a little while, then went to Adairsville elementary school for a little while. And then I was asked to come back and take Cass Middle School. And that was when it was an interesting time because at that point in time, all of the little towns, Bridle and Kingston and Emerson and Cloverleaf, they all had basketball teams in grades 1 through 8. And that was the way that communities identified themselves. And so what had happened, that was when they consolidated and decided to make Cass Middle School, and they closed all of those 8th grades, and it kind of upset folks there for a while. So it was a little rough time to start with at Cass Middle, but along with some longtime educators here in the county that I'm sure people will know, Ron Casey and Dempsey Kearse. Ron Casey was a great history teacher. He was a Civil War buff. He'd come to school dressed in his uniform, have his old guns, which you could not do now.
No, you could not.
But he
Wait,
got
which
his
uniform was he coming
yeah,
in?
yeah, both. He had both.
Okay,
He
okay.
had
That's
both.
see,
He had
that's
both.
we're okay, folks. He
Right,
had
so
both.
right, yeah,
We're okay.
gotta hit both sides of
Yeah,
this
you
thing.
do.
Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the company that makes your morning drive happen every week. Are you looking to elevate your business and your brand? Hammerhead Creations is here to help. They offer top-tier marketing services, including social media management, website design, and Google page optimization, ensuring your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team, me, is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting like me, Hammerhead Creations offers full support for both in-house shows and external podcast creation. From concept to production, we will help you bring your ideas to life. Visit www.hammerheadcreations.com and discover how we can take your business or your podcast or both to the next level. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks.
I was
This
like, well,
day and-
yeah, man, if he's walking in with a damn Confederate stuff going on, yeah, that'd be
Especially if you're full of Yankees, yeah.
yeah. Ooh.
But and that we got that going pretty good, and then from there, I went to the central office. They started an alternative school, and at that time, the alternative school was just strictly for high school students, and that was probably the hardest job that I've ever had. But yet, it was the most rewarding because you could see people that had said, "Okay, you can't make it in the regular classroom setting, so we got to find a place for you." So they sent them to us, and with the staff that I had there, worked with those things. And can I tell you one of the most rewarding things I
Please.
had? It was a young lady who wasn't making it in Cass High School. Not going to mention any names or anything, but very likable, very attractive, a great vocabulary, but her vocabulary was in 4-letter words and miscolored,
Understood.
and they would say them to anybody and everybody, no matter what the setting was.
Sure.
So she got kicked out.
Really had no
Well,
filter.
Yeah, no filter at all. So we worked with her, and then, of course, as time went on, I was kind of helping with the food bank at the church at Liberty Square, and this was on Old Mill Road. So I was doing that kind of part-time and still teaching. And then when I retired, I started helping the maintenance director, Tim Daniels, over there. Excel was there at that time. So I was kind of helping out with the maintenance and looking after things. And one day, one of the teachers came up and said, "Mr. Howell, you've got a lady that wanted to see you, but she couldn't stay, so she left a note on your desk." So I went back and got that note and opened it up, and it said, "Mr. Howell, you and your staff at the alternative school, if you had not taken the time to really pour into me and then set me down when I started going the wrong way and talk to me, I would not have been able to do what I'm doing today. And I am a certified physical therapist." That makes all of that worthwhile. So many other situations like that in education that I ran across.
Where did this, I know you said your dad was a principal at one point. Where did this deep, deep passion from education come from? Like as a kid, did you know that this was going to be a path for you? Or maybe in high school, did you think like, oh, I'm going to go into education like my dad did?
Well, it wasn't necessarily because my dad, but I got interested in education, and I got interested in athletics and music too.
Yeah.
So I saw the door open at Auburn to get into the music part of it there. It is crazy having a PE major. You had a lot of classes and everything with your football players and all of the athletes there at Auburn. And we had classes together, and we'd go in and they'd say, "Hey, well, what are you doing?" "I play in the band. I'm not on the team or anything." And they'd kind of laugh, and meaning this in the right way. I said, "Well, that's fine." I said, "When we go on all these football trips to Tennessee and to Florida, y'all are on the same bus. All of you guys are together, aren't you?" And they said, "Yeah, we are." I said, "Well, I'm on the bus with the cheerleaders and the majorettes
There you
and
go.
everybody, and makes our trip a little bit more interesting."
Yeah.
So that was some of the fun.
Some banter you had back and forth.
Yeah, it was fun.
That is cool. That is cool. But man, just even in what you just said about like you bounce from kind of school to school, opportunity to opportunity, was that something that you were intentional about or you were just kind of the guy that you saw an opportunity and you wanted to help?
Well, I saw an opportunity and the door opened, so I went ahead and jumped in it. And
Your morning drive is also present to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink canned format for any occasion, whether it's a pool day, a boat day, a beach day, a graduation, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, anything in between. Good Days are there for you. Good Days are ahead when they are in your cooler, your fridge, your anything in between. Good Days has your back. If you want to be one of the first to try their drink, you can do so by visiting drinkgooddays.com/pages/find-us to find a store near you selling their drink. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume and purchase.
so the education part, and it was in my background because I saw what my dad did. And of course, my dad was a minister also. And we did a lot of traveling to different churches and things as I grew up, and got to know people, got to be around people. So I like being around people, and I saw how the schools and where I was helped individuals and everything. So I said, I'm gonna jump into that.
Yeah. What did mom do?
My mom was basically a homemaker.
Okay.
She stayed at home for a while, but right before I graduated from Auburn, they moved to Moreland, Georgia,
Okay.
as a principal there, which is a town right outside of Newnan. And there's an interesting story there. That's where Louis Grizzard is from. He says Newnan, but whenever we'd go into a meeting and he would be there and we'd be listening to him, he'd say, I'm from Newnan, Georgia." We'd say, "Oh, no, you're not. you're from Borland, Georgia. and so and so Mom kind of worked in the cafeteria there, but
Sure.
other than that, she
Homemaker.
stayed at home, looked after us. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was the same way. Can I tell you a funny story about homemaker? So I worked at a financial institution for a few years, a couple years back, and I was doing a loan for a husband and wife couple. I forget what kind of loan it was, probably a car loan or something.
Yeah.
And talked to the husband, got his income information, got all that in, and then I asked the wife what she does. So she told me homemaker, uh, but before I was a homemaker, I did this for X amount of years. I was paid this, yada yada yada. And then at the end, before I submitted, I always go back and I confirmed the information with the people just to make sure I got everything right. I said, all right, husband, you do this, this, and this. You work for these people for this long, you get paid this much. I said, Mom, you're the home wrecker. You do this, this. And then the look on their faces was like, and I was like, oh my God, what did I say? And they were a younger couple, so they thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because they clearly knew I misspoke. I didn't mean anything by it, but I was so embarrassed. They said, you said home wrecker. And I was like, no, not that. I hope that's not the case.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Totally misspoke, but they were cool about it. So
Yeah.
I didn't stress about it. But every time I hear now going forward, anytime I hear someone say homemaker, I just think about that couple.
Brings it right back up.
Oh, brings it right back up, man.
All of that was the early part of my career in education.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then you stuck around Bartow then for a while then, or did you ever get out of Bartow and then come back?
No. Once I started out at Valley High School where
Yeah.
I coached football and basketball.
Yep.
Had the fortunate power that we won the state championship there
Heck yeah.
while I was there. Then I went to LaGrange, and then we moved up here. And that's when I started my principalship at Emerson.
At Emerson.
And then went to Cass Elementary, then went to Adairsville, and then came back to Cass Middle. And so Cass Middle to the central office, and then worked there, and then finally retired from education.
When did you retire? What year?
98, I think.
98.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Uh-huh.
I was 2. That sounds great. Man, so what's kept you busy since retirement? How long did you retire and hang out before you got bored and wanted to do some extra stuff?
I didn't hang out too long.
No.
But you're right. It wouldn't take long for me to be bored.
Dude.
So at our church, I got involved in the church at Liberty Square. We got involved in that, and I helped run the Family Life Center at that time. I was doing that. And, of course, kind of helping at Harvest House with the people. It wasn't Harvest House then. It was Feed the Needy. And they were people that were working with it. And so I started helping there. And as time progressed, and I kind of started directing that. So it was Harvest House, Feed the Needy. And so that was basically what I got into. And then with my music background, I knew some music people here in town. And so Dr. Saunders Jones was the main one who was, I guess, the catalyst that got it going of the Etowah Jazz Society. And so I've been a part of the Etowah Jazz Society since 2002, one of the charter members of that organization. And we've been playing all over North Georgia and some out of state. But we rehearse every Thursday night out at the studio at his place. And so that's what's been keeping me busy, the music, the church, the Harvest House. So that's what I'm staying involved with.
That's awesome. What do you play?
Play trumpet.
Trumpet. Man, that's the instrument I was convinced when I was, oh goodness, maybe 10. I was like, I'm going to go in a band and I'm going to play the trumpet. And then my dad brought home this trumpet one day and was like, all right, here you go. And much like anything else that I wanted to do, I played the hell out of it for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then never touched it again. And I don't know where that trumpet is today. But I always told myself if I ever did band or something of the sorts, it would be trumpet.
Yeah.
And I was always just so inspired seeing people play the trumpet because people can play. I know you're going to be humble here, Jack, but are you good? Pretty good.
I've been able to keep up with folks. But
yeah.
I'm not. I used to be a lead trumpet player, but when I got out and got into the jazz, I started playing the second and third, and I'm more of your
Backup?
not a
Okay.
backup, but I play second and third
Sure. You're not
trumpet.
front and center necessarily.
No.
Still,
That's not me.
I wish I could play an
It's
instrument.
kind of funny. People ask me what I do, and did you play ball? Or I said, yeah, I played basketball, played football, played baseball. They said, well, why did you quit? I said, well, I'm a little older. I can still play my horn, but I can't run up and down the court
No,
anymore. So
no.
there you are.
If I'm running, at this point in life, if I'm running, you better turn around and run with me because something's wrong, man. So I'm hearing with the education and then the athletics and even now, like with the Etowah Jazz Society, there's a passion there for local arts, local education, local athletics. Was that also something that you saw in your parents growing up, that they were deep rooted in the people around them and the community and the neighbors? And like, was that something you saw too?
Well, Dad, being a minister, we were always around people, helping people and being part of a community. And he was really, my dad pastored 3 or 4 different churches in different towns. And so it was weekends we would travel over there. And the interesting part, we'd stay in homes. We'd go there on Friday. We'd stay in some of the parishioners' homes, and then we'd have services Saturday and Sunday. And so that was part of his ministry. And so that got me tuned into people and wanting to be around and help people. So I saw that. So I kind of knew what to do with that.
So then fast forwarding a little bit,
Okay.
at what point because I know that as I hinted at in our intro, that you're a familiar voice in local sports, and people who know your name or that are listening to this right now, they probably already know that. But before we get to that specific thing, at what point did like that concept of radio, announcing, microphone, like when did it get to a point where having a microphone in your face was something that you were comfortable with?
Okay, I guess it might be a long story. I'll make it short. But my boys played ball at Cartersville High School.
Okay.
And ran track, played in the band. My oldest one played football for a couple of years, then went into the band. But and Nathan ran track, and Neil played football and basketball at Cartersville High School. So that got me involved in athletics, being part of the booster club. And so being part of that as they grew up and was playing, got up to be about, I guess it was Neil's junior year, and the announcer who had been here a long time, Charlie Langford was his name. He had been announcing a long time. And he, during the summer, during off season, had moved. And our head coach at that time was Coach Mike Earwood. And he did not know that he had moved. So it got real close to the football season. And he got to looking. He said, hey, we don't have a PA announcer. And I was president of the touchdown club at that time. And so he looked at me and he said, well, that looks like a job for the president of the touchdown club. So I said, okay, all right. So that's how I got behind the microphone at Wyman Stadium. And, it wasn't a hard thing for me. Playing ball and being familiar with the football and the basketball and everything, that was not a hard job. It was an easy, good job. I kind of thought I knew what to do, and I think I still know what I'm supposed to do. But that's how I got the microphone at Wyman Stadium.
Huh. Yeah, that's really cool, man. That's when I was, I'm still a newbie a little bit to Cartersville. My wife and I have been here for the summer, I think it's 3 or 4 years, one of those numbers. I'm bad with time. But when I was talking to Caitlin before we had scheduled this, she's like, yeah, we got the Howell family for the cover of June, maybe, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And I was like, cool. Who are they? And she was like, well, Jack, And I was like,
no,
I don't. I wish I did. And she was like, Cartersville High School Football. And I was like, coach? And she was like, close. He's the announcer. Everyone knows this man's voice. And I said, this is the Jack that I've heard. And of course, then, socket connected, things started rushing in. I'd heard your name mentioned here and there in Cartersville football and all those things. So it's really cool that you're here. You're a local legend.
Man, I don't know about that now.
You know what's funny is I knew high school football was a big deal. And I've my brain fart. I know the significance, of course, with this town, with Trevor Lawrence going to Cartersville and coming out of that. Now he's doing big things. And he did big things at Clemson, right? Is that where he played?
Yes, he went
And
to
then
Clemson.
now on to Baltimore. Is that right?
No.
No, he went to don't tell me. Don't tell
I'm
me.
not going to
I'm
tell
the
you.
least athletic person you know, Jack. Whoever you knew before that was
Jacksonville.
yeah, that's right. The freaking Jaguars. I
Yep.
knew it. And he's still there, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
know why I'm thinking of. Oh, you know who I'm thinking of is I don't know if it's Baltimore that he went to, but my brother went to high school with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And
Down
he
yeah,
went to the Bears, and now is he at Baltimore? I
he
think.
may be. Yeah, back in the day when Trevor was in high school and it was Jason at Harrison or wherever it was, I forget exactly.
Yeah, Harrison.
But they were always, the sportscasters and everything. Okay, Trevor this, then Jason this, Trevor this, and they were really interested in how they
Yeah,
were going to turn out.
yeah.
But I tell you, I had great guy, family is great, grounded, and he's
Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor is he's really a good person.
That's awesome. And I love that the town kind of embraced that. And Kennesaw has embraced Justin
Yeah,
Fields too.
Justin,
I
that's
mean,
right.
downtown Kennesaw, they have that mural of him painted along the side of the pizza restaurant.
Well, they had this one up along the side of Egan's Bakery at
Yeah.
one time,
Yeah.
on Trevor. Yeah.
And I love that when you go to Jefferson's, there's posters of
Oh,
Trevor
yeah.
in there. So it's really cool that the town has rallied kind of behind him and that family, because it's cool to say that you live in a town that one of the better college athletes of the last decade went to your high school there.
Yeah. And then you've got Ronnie Brown.
Yeah.
Now, Ronnie, Ronnie went to Auburn. And of course, his playing mate was Josh Brock. He went to Georgia. And so Ronnie and four other guys from Auburn were drafted in pretty close to the first round when an NFL draft came. And he had a good, successful NFL career also. And I've just found out now another local kid from here, Devontae Ross, who he is now just signed with the San Diego Chargers. So there's a lot of local talent around here. And I had the privilege of calling all of Trevor's home games and then doing radio games away. Did that with Matt Santini and Don Startup. We did the away games together. Still doing that. They let me hang around, for most of the time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's funny. In fact, I just Googled as we're sitting here. Oh my gosh, this is cool. I decided to Google who are the most famous people from Cartersville, Georgia. And first off, Trevor Lawrence.
Ronnie Brown.
This second one is a complete surprise to me. I had no idea about this. Wayne Knight. Seinfeld. He went to school here in Cartersville. What the heck, Wayne Knight? I don't know what he's doing now, but I know he was, what was it, Newman on Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Chloe Grace Moretz, she's a young actress.
Dr. Moretz was a plastic surgeon here for a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that might be her dad or grandfather or something. That's really cool. Rebecca Latimer Felton? Oh, well, maybe that's why my neighborhood is called Felton. Lived in Cartersville, first woman to serve in the U.S. Senate. Okay. Yep. And then Joe Frank Harris, politician, served as governor of Georgia. And then lastly, Amos Ackerman, U.S. Attorney General under President Grant, who resided in Cartersville.
Oh, and you got Judge Benham.
Yep. Country singer Cletus Judd. Cletus Judd. Apparently, one of my friends is friends with him, and he keeps asking me when I'm going to get Cletus in here on this podcast. I'm like,
that would be cool.
I don't know him at all, so maybe I'll reach out to him and see if he's game.
Well, he probably is, knowing him.
And then drummer Jonathan Jared J-Rod Sullivan.
Oh, okay. You're talking to some guys I don't know now.
And there, Ronnie Brown, of course, mentioned. That's cool. Look at that. Famous people from the town you live in.
Yeah.
That's fun. High school football is so important to this town specifically. Do you think it even extends past some of these great athletes like Trevor and Ronnie and the people that came before them?
And the guys that played with them, Lavada Johnson and Lyle had played at Georgia baseball some. It's the community. That's the way that it's been. It's a close-knit community. People know, and they help one another.
Yeah.
This is one of the most helpful communities that I have ever been in with when you're asking for sponsorships for football. I also do basketball. I keep scoreboard for the basketball here at Cartersville. So, and So I hang around with that. But yeah, that somehow they labeled me the voice of the Canes. And I guess it's just Friday night because I used to try to help with baseball, but my wife would divorce me if I got into baseball, doing football and basketball.
We all need a good lady at home to.
Oh, I got one too.
I get home some days and I'm like, I've got so many ideas, and she's like, simmer down now, lay them on me so I can tell you which one of them are realistic or not.
Yeah. Well, my wife's in education too. She taught at Auburn and then helped me out in the administration and stuff when I started in the school system here in Bartow County.
My wife also in education, so she doesn't teach here in Bartow. She teaches in Cobb, but yeah. So maybe it's the educator in them that keep us a little realistic.
Well,
sometimes.
she knows where I'm coming. She's an educator. She's a musician. She's too smart for me. That's where I start talking
I think about that all the time.
I start talking about something, and she says, "Okay, yeah, this is why." I said, "Oh, just forget it."
Oh,
okay.
you know what mine does is I start telling a story, and she'll nod her way through the story, and then after it, she'll be like, "Well, he exaggerated on a couple different things."
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'll say, "They don't." It's not like it affects the story. It's just for emphasis.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I do, Jack. I get it.
Hey guys, let's talk about another partner of the podcast, Branded and Devoted Designs. Are you looking to level up your company's merch game? Your brand deserves better than boring swag. If you contact Branded and Devoted Designs, you can level up with custom hats, shirts, tumblers, mugs, and more that your customers and clients will brag about. Go to www.brandedanddevoteddesigns.com to make your brand stick out. Mention that Logan from Your Morning Drive sent you, and they will give you 10% off of your order. That's brandedanddevoteddesigns.com. Tell them Logan sent you from Your Morning Drive for 10% off your order.
So let's talk about the bees.
Okay.
The bees that you're involved with, Jack. We were talking a little bit beforehand, but I on purpose didn't ask a ton of questions because I kind of wanted to save it. Bartow Bee Club, how did that start? How did you become involved with it? Because again, like music, education, athletics, radio, bees, ministry, bees, like how did the bees come about to you?
Well, first the bee, my middle son, Nathan, got involved with the bees, and he was the one that introduced me to it. And the bee club here had been going for a good while. Victor Hogelwatz, who has a lot of he tells stories about having bees and them having 5,000 hives and things like that. I said, Lord, I'd do good to do 6 in the world.
I'd be lucky to have 2.
I'd have to have some more. But that's how I got into that and got introduced to the bees and then started going to the bee club. And so it just becomes a hobby, and it's kind of fun. It's neat.
So what's it entail? Like what does the bee club do per se? To explain it to me like a complete idiot.
Okay. All right. New member coming into the bee club.
Yeah.
All right. We talk about how you get started, what you're going to need to get started. Once you get started, then you talk about how to try to keep your bees, what you feed them, when to feed them. Then you have to treat them for varroa mites and for the diseases that can come around. You have to treat them for that. So that's all entailed in that. You have to check them about once a week to see when you've got to add more supers to the beehives, because if they get too crowded and everything, they'll leave. The bees will leave and go somewhere else. So you have to make sure that they've got enough room to make the honey. And so it's an ongoing thing.
Would the bees ever like revolt and like try to do like a prison break kind of thing and they retaliate against you guys? Or
the best time to do bees is when it's nice and sunny, no wind. But if it's a little cloudy, if it's raining, you open up a beehive, they're going to say, I don't like this.
Really?
And they'll start swarming around you. And
so that's
that's why I wear the complete outfit.
Oh, you wear the whole getup, the whole.
Well, I wear blue jeans and then the whole top and the veil. Yeah. And then I try to get advice. You look on YouTube, the internet, to see what other people are doing in a certain thing. And here they are in shorts and a T-shirt, all these bees flying around them. I said, not me, man.
No, dude.
Not me.
Nah, man. I've been stung one time, and it was the absolute worst. So I wouldn't want to, I would not want to, I was
Oh, it
walking
can happen.
outside. I was on a walk and I felt like I don't know why, but I must have, like, coughed or something because I did this, and I felt like a bump, like, right
Mhm.
here, like, right under my neck, and I was like, "That's a big bump, like, did I like, is that a zit or a pimple or something?" So I, like, unbutton my shirt, and I stick my hand in, and it's just this fat bee just chilling, just sitting, not doing anything, just sitting, resting, I guess, on my chest, and I was like, "Oh my god," and so I instinctively just was like, smacked it, and in that process, it stung me,
Stunning.
and, I was like, "Oh my god," but at the end of the day, I was like, "It must." I never saw the body, never saw a body, couldn't give an official autopsy on what it was, but I was like, "It must have been a bee."
Well, most of the times the honeybees, if they sting you, they'll die.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So, rest in peace to that bee, I hope he didn't have a family, because now
Oh,
that's a
he
s
had 10,000 other helpers
well,
he
that's
could look
true. I was
after.
gonna say that's a single income household now, so
Yeah,
that stinks. Hate to make a woman a widow, but so I keep coming kinda, Jack, circling back to this idea of you serving the community for so
mhm.
long, and now you're doing, more stuff, right, with the Liberty Square Church?
Right, yeah, I'm basically in charge of the food pantry, the Harvest House food pantry.
What's that experience been like, and what are some, like, standout you told that story at the very beginning about that student that you guys had helped at school, but now same mindset, but for the Harvest House, what's a couple stories or experiences that you've had that have really kinda been like a "whoa" moment for you?
Well, and of course, you're helping feed people who need it, and I would say 95 to 98% of the people that come to get food need it. You've always got, no matter what you're doing, you've always got a few, but you don't let that deter you from doing what you know you're called to do. So, but I guess some of the standout moments of feeding people and is when you've helped someone and you know they're down on their luck, they don't have a job, and then maybe a half a year later, somebody comes up and says, "Here's it." Somebody calls from the church office, said, "Somebody came by here and left an envelope for you." So get through with Harvest House. I go up there, I get the envelope, opening it up, and it says, "Please thank you for being there when I did not have anything. Here's a check for $1,000." And it
What?
was somebody that we'd helped that had finally got back on track and was working. And so that's just one of the stories that we see. Even now, that's big and the money, but yet the other part is just seeing people that you're feeding, the look on their face, their countenance, and how they feel when they leave and when they're coming. They know that you're going to help them and you're not going to question why they're here.
Hmm.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a really cool story. I mean, that's just a great example of I think the town we live in too, or the area we live in, I mean, people love what should you say? Like, people really love to give back, of course, but they also love to honor where they've come from, and
Hmm.
so that person, no matter what put them in that circumstance that they needed to come to you guys for food, they thought to themselves, maybe it wasn't in that moment, but maybe once they finally had gotten on their feet and gotten a
Yeah.
job and made some good money for themselves, maybe it was a thought then to, I'm gonna bless the people that blessed me.
Well, and the thing about it, we're there every week. Well, we're not once or twice a year. We're there every week. Of course, turned out to be a 5 day a week job because you're ordering food, you're stocking it, you're scheduling drivers, you're trying to keep everything, the building, you got to keep it up. So and we pick up in the community just about every week, going to the grocery stores and getting the food, and then different agencies having fund drives to give us money to help buy food and that type of thing. So we're in the community just about every day.
Why do you think, or maybe no, not that, but I hate to use this word. I hate this word, especially in the nonprofit world, but how do you compete? That's the word I hate with other nonprofits or that specifically are designed to give people food and when they're in need, like massive ones like Must Ministries out in, like Cobb County or Paulding County, but then also like the Red Door Food Pantry that we have
Yeah.
here in town. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
and I'm sure there's other dozens of food pantries. So I hate the mindset of thinking that like y'all are all competing for the same food, but you're all at the same time trying to serve the same community. So I mean, how are those lines? You know what I'm trying to
That's
say?
a good question. I know what you're asking. Here's the thing. This community, we basically don't compete. We work together. Just the first thing that comes to my mind with the Red Door, we've had a little delivery glitch from Atlanta. So, and of course, the Red Door gets from Atlanta, we get from Atlanta, and some of the others do too, North Point in Adairsville. And so we were in a meeting with the food bank one day and Lisa was there. And then, so we worked out a thing to where that delivery will come to them on the day that it comes to Cartersville. And then we go pick it up from them instead of not being able to get it from Atlanta. So that part we're working together. And that's the good thing about it. Some of our sources are the same, but a lot of them are different.
Sure.
And so we've worked together. I've worked with Tabernacle, North Point, Red Door, Creekside, carrying food and people. And we have people that work for us that are not members of the Church at Liberty Square. They're just members of other churches and they want something to do, or just somebody in the community. So that's the neat thing about all of the organizations here and around Cartersville. We're working together and help one another out when we need it.
Yeah, that's something. There's been a constant phrase I've heard since I've gotten here, and it's community over competition.
Yes.
And I think that reigns true, especially in what you just said, because at the end of the day, like I said, and you're all serving the same community, and whether someone's coming to Red Door for food or they're going to you for food, and you're all getting them from the same place, it's all relative. It's not a competition. It shouldn't be a competition when we're trying to help people. So that's just really cool to hear.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's really great to be a part of a ministry that's helping the community and everybody can work together. You don't see that in a lot of places.
No, you really don't, actually. That's why I feel like it was important to mention, just because it's so, and not even just in the food pantry thing, but like there's like 400 or something registered nonprofits in Bartow County. I saw
Yeah.
something like that recently. And it's just amazing how well they all work together. I mean, sure, there's a few that maybe don't, but for the most part, I hear more stories like that more than ever of just like, oh, well, we weren't, this happened. So we were able to partner with X and they helped us through this. And it's just really inspiring that people are able to work together like that.
And that's the good thing about the Atlanta Community Food Bank, because training for certain areas for the KID program, the GNAP, and stuff like that, the food bank gets us together, and we sit down as a group, different agencies, North Georgia, Middle Georgia, whatever, and we're together and we share stuff, and the food bank pours into us and helps us. So, it's coming from the Atlanta Food Bank, you think it's a big community, but yet they help bring it smaller when they pull you together and have meetings together.
Sure, sure. Well, with all the things that you're doing with when it comes to high school sports and food bank, if there's young people or just people in general that want to get involved with food pantry, or maybe there's extra hands needed around high school athletics or whatever the case may be, how would you encourage that people get involved?
Okay, basically, if they know we're there, we have the meetings, and just like the Etowah Jazz Society, we do scholarships for music people every year through the Etowah Foundation, and we encourage the band directors. We kind of let them know, and we've had students to come in and play because we want to keep the jazz music going. Well, one of the students that I think of started playing with us while they were in high school, then went to the University of Georgia, played in the Redcoat Band, came back to Cartersville, played with us a little bit, and they're teaching school in the county school system now. So by word of mouth usually really helps getting people involved, and just getting the word out there, and the initiative to get people to get involved. They see us, and so we try to encourage them to come in. That's about the best thing that I know that we can do, is
Very
to let
good.
them know that we're open.
Yeah.
We're very open to have them. Like people come to Harvest House. We've had football players from Cartersville High School to come and spend a day while we were open, and to help carry groceries to the cars and things like that.
That's great.
So that says something to your teachers and your staff at Carterville. They know that they need to get these kids involved, and that's a good thing. Wherever you are, what church, what Sunday school class, what high school, or whatever, I think it's our leaders' responsibility to get those kids back into the community and show them how that contributing to the community can help them grow and become part of the community as they get adults.
Sure. Yeah, I definitely second that for sure. Jack, whenever I'm getting close to the end of a conversation, I like
Okay.
to take it back to the basics, and I ask every guest that I have this group of small questions. They're very trivial questions, just fun, real life stuff.
Okay.
Just to remind everybody that we're all human. So whether it's you sitting here or
Oh,
Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence or Wayne Knight, I'm going to ask everybody those same questions because we're all human. Jack, what's your favorite all-time movie?
My favorite all-time movie? Tombstone.
Oh, good choice. Jack, you get to organize yourself a music festival. This was fun now that given that you're a music guy. You get to pick the 3 headlining acts. Who are they? Alive or dead?
Alive or dead. All right. The Rolling Stones.
Great.
That's got to be one. And I look back on, I guess a lot of people don't know there's a 3 Dog Night. Count Basie in the Jazz, Duke Ellington. It's
a great lineup.
Yeah.
I think people
different. You got your jazz on one line, you got your rock and roll on the other.
Yeah.
And of course, basically all of my music now is just with the Edinburgh Jazz. And then what I've done in church, I've played in church for a long time. So
yeah,
a lot of those guys too.
That'd be a good festival. I think people are showing up.
Oh yeah.
Jack, whenever you go out to eat, are you guys dessert people or appetizer people?
Can you like both?
Is it too much to ask for both?
Too much. It should be appetizers, but I like desserts.
Good to know. Good to know. If there's a day that comes around that you have 0 responsibilities, so back when you first retired and you didn't have all these things on your plate, how do you take care of yourself? What do you do to kind of put energy back into yourself?
Okay. I go to the gym, and work out. And then that's basically it. And then my wife being a master gardener, I'm digging a lot of holes around the house and things. So that keeps me going, working in the flower beds and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. What's something that people would be surprised to know about you? Like a fun fact about Jack.
Fun fact about Jack. Good Lord. I don't know. You may have to ask somebody else about that one. A fun fact that somebody doesn't know. I don't know. Well, I guess a lot of people doesn't know that my dad was he was a minister in small churches, and we traveled every weekend to other churches and spent the night. And a lot of people don't know that.
Huh. That is interesting. And then lastly, Jack, what gets you out of bed every morning? What inspires you? What keeps you going?
That I've got something to do, that I'm going to be involved in something, going to be able to help somebody in some way. That gets me up, knowing I've got a good home, my 3 boys, and so they're local except one. He moved up to Trenton, and knowing, being associated with them and having them to get up to, that keeps me going.
Heck yeah. Well, good stuff, guys. I appreciate your time today, Jack. It was a pleasure to get to know your story a little bit, hear about the stuff that you're involved with. I'll be sure to make sure I plug in the description of the episode. I'll plug the Harvest House information so that if you're around town and you want to give back, if you're a teacher that's off for summer break and you want something to do, if you're a student
Right.
that's looking to give back to the community, whatever it is, whoever you are. I'll make sure that their information is in the description so that you can get involved.
Yep.
Thank you to Cartersville Living for setting this up. Thank you to Jack for your time, and we'll make sure that you have a good day. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care. See ya.